everybody. Welcome to Chloethedev Unfiltered. I'm going to try and be pretty quiet tonight. Bianca is sleeping. It's like 5 minutes past midnight. Um, but recently, a lot of new developments have been happening, and I thought it was about time to get back to um, what Chloethedev Unfiltered kind of started as a way for me to track um, what I was doing after kind of shutting down the Marma J Foundation, and as I relaunched, kind of tracking some of that information. And now that the Marma J Foundation is relaunched, I suppose it is time to start thinking about what that looks like into 2021 and moving forward. This pin right here is I'll give some. Okay, so this is Antigua, for example. For those that don't even know who that is, I am a dual citizen of Canada and Antigua. So there is Canada, this big old thing right here, up there, and then Antigua is right down here. It's kind of in the middle of the ocean above Venezuela. Okay, I've been there many times growing up. And every time I stayed growing up when I was young, I stayed in Browns Avenue, and I would stay in the little studio apartment right here where this pin is. So there's a little studio where the pin is. To the left of that pin, there's a two-bedroom apartment that is attached to it. There's an empty parcel of land to the right of the studio, and then to the right of that, there's a three-bedroom apartment. They're all bungalow style houses, no basements, no two, except for to the right of that you have an apartment style building. In the original plans for the apartment, on the farthest right, with little two cars in front of it, so that had plans for two apartment buildings, so their kind of apartment building can fit behind it. I was talking to my grandmother recently, and we have been talking about. She is saying that if I would like, I can build on this parcel of land with the apartment building. So, what I am hoping to put there for the Marma J Foundation would be a building that would be supporting the Friends of the Care Project. The Friends of the Care Project, I did a short video about them on this channel, I think, or on the Marma J Foundation, but I'll drop the link to this. Actually, I'll say it right now. Edit. Friends of the Care Project. And so the link to that will be in this video description. Wonderful. So, if anybody would like to get more information, but for the most part, they support orphans and youth with special needs. So the Care Project is a home for the disabled children of Antigua and Barbuda. It's currently housed at the pediatric ward of the old Holberton Hospital. This group of children with severe mental and physical disabilities receive basic care. Many of the residents have been abandoned by their families. So Antigua is a very small country, and so there's not very many people, I would say, that are a part of these projects. But I think that's an interesting predicament to be in, because if there's not many people, then potentially me alone with one foundation could provide enough support to support the entire country, which is very interesting. So back to this piece of land. So there's 4 units in the apartment building. They're all one bedrooms. The idea would be for the Marma J Foundation to rent out all of the properties from the family. And for now, to allow the tenants there to live rent-free. With COVID going on and all this craziness and everything else, I think it would be really cool just to kind of like support the people that have been supporting our family. And while, Browns Avenue is not the nicest part of Antigua, the tenants that have paid rent over the years are the reason that, it still is as, nice as it is, for lack of a better term. And so as I've grown up, I've had a lot of plans for this land. And so I wish I had a pointer. I got to figure out how to do the pointer on OBS. But from where the pin is, from one end of the street, St. Boniface Anglican Church, to the end of the other end of the street where the apartment building is with the two cars, my family used to own the entire piece of land. So I've always wanted to try and repurchase or try and use the church for something, and just to try and revitalize the entire community. But already, just with the family land that is here, I would say there is enough space to comfortably house around 30 people, right? And so the idea would be to rent out the apartments, let everyone live rent free, and then once their leases were up, the idea would be to kind of, communicate with those people. Hopefully, most of them would be okay with moving to other areas or other houses, because the idea would be to slowly have people move in that had a similar worldview as the foundation, so that we could almost provide sort of a scholarship program with residency, with a sort of stipend, and people that live there would be I guess it would be similar to a kernel type program or a Web3 bridge program, or where people would be learning the skills required to securely build and develop Web3 technologies and applications from the hub of Browns Avenue. And that's pretty much the plan currently. So, sorry, past midnight, so I haven't been sleeping much the past couple days. So in that, so some interesting points that I'll start. Okay, so when I was living in Antigua previously with my ex-wife and my son, we were living in 5 Islands, right up here, by Galley Bay Beach. So we lived right across the street from Galley Bay. Where was the house? Oops, it wasn't actually in Galley Bay like that. It was on Gray's Farm Main Road. I want to say it was like this house. No, it wasn't. Am I going to find the exact house that I used to live in? Oh, there it is. That's the house that I used to live in. So when I was in Antigua with my ex, we lived right there for a few months. It was quite fun. We would go to the beach over here in Landing Bay almost every day, take pictures. We'd content marketing online. It was super fun. Really enjoyed it. And my grandmother lives in Upper Gambles. I guess I won't show her house. Don't need to show all that. But so this is Lower Gambles up here. This is Upper Gambles. You got the Epicurean up there. And then Bianca and I, when we most recently lived, we lived in Fort James. So this is Fort James, the actual fort. And this is where we would feed all the beaches. We'd feed all the dogs. So this was the beach where Bianca and I would feed all the stray dogs. This is where Mika came from. That is wild. I'm going to pin that. I'm going to pin that right now. Okay. Actually, I want to find the exact location that I met Mika. We met Mika right... So this is where Mika got hit by the car. Where is it? So sad. Right here, actually, is got where that intersection right here. Was Mika hit by the car, and we met her literally pretty much like right where it says Fort James Beach is where we met Mika and Annie and all Krista and all the wonderful dogs. So this is the street we would walk every day. Fort Road, we would take it. We walk Fort Road all the way down, and we lived at Fort Road and Bay Street. So this apartment building right here, the long one in the middle, we lived right here. And we would walk, right down to the beach at Fort James Beach every day. So it was like one little street. We would pick up trash along the way. We would cook rice, and we have chicken bones from leftover food. We'd bring for the dogs. We'd bring water, extra water for the dogs that we would have as well. And so it was really hot some days. And so the closest fresh water for the dogs was a pond. There you go. There's a pond right there. And so it's funny because the dogs loved Fort James Beach because the pond wasn't too far away. So if you see this Mystic Beach Bar and Grill, the Sand Haven, that's where the pond was. So a lot of the dogs would live at Fort James Beach because there was more food here. We were feeding them. There's some restaurants at both ends of the beach. But Runaway Beach was where it was closer to the pond. There's actually also a house here that I would love to get for the Marma J Foundation. Where are you? Anyways, not important. One day, one day. But that's where we lived. And then to get to our local grocery store, that was fun. Okay, I wish I could drop it and like I could go on the street. Some streets, it seems like no street view in Antigua. See, I would love to drive a Google car around Antigua just to get some street view. Anyways, we would cut on an apartment, we would travel down Fort Road, and then we would take our first left down I don't even know the names of these streets, Cockleshell Avenue. Then this was a no-name street, so we would just walk down this no-name street till we got to the end. We would always walk by the basketball court because one time we were walking by this basketball court north towards Anchorage Road because the First Choice Foods is where we went to get groceries. So we were going by the basketball court, and there was a dog that was hit in the middle of the street there. And I think we were on the way back, I think, from the grocery store. I can't remember on the way there or the way back. But we were like with the dog for a while, and we stayed with the dog. And we actually called Joy from Dogs and Cats of Antigua. They were a local rescue. They help spay, neuter, rescue dogs in Antigua. And she came from wherever she was. She picked us up. She brought us to the vet, and sadly we had to put the dog down. We got donations right then. And seeing how Facebook groups can bring money together to pick up a dog that's dying off the streets of Antigua because two people just put up on Facebook that a dog is passing, and we got the dog. We had no car. We were in Antigua. We walked everywhere, and so to be able to be with that dog for its last moments, and know that at least it passed somewhat peacefully, surrounded by love of some sort. But anyways, we would walk north. It was Abina's. It was a wonderful place we have to eat right here. She was wonderful. Anyways, and then we go to First Choice Foods and get our groceries. And then, oh my gosh, one time I had to carry a 20-pound sack of potatoes with a backpack and carry it all the way back to the apartment. Oh my gosh, it was so painful. But so even from First Choice Foods all the way to Fort James Beach, really isn't that far. Antigua's not that big. And as you can see, I used to walk as like a 6-year-old from this Hart location to this Upper Gambles location. So you can see how if, as a 6-year-old, I walked from this Hart to Upper Gambles, right? That's where the blue is coming up. Then for sure, it's not that bad to be walking from, let's say, Fort James to, right? What you have here would be First Choice in this area, in like Gordon, Christopher's Place area. It's not that far. It's about half an hour to an hour, maybe an hour and a half walk, depending on the heat and all that stuff. That's the majority of what the live stream was supposed to be. Just to explain, April of next year, what the plans are. So the plan is to kind of just keep saving the funds that we have for this project for now, and kind of just not do much with it, kind of just try and get down there, talk to the people, kind of figure out what I want to volunteer at the Marma J. So I volunteer at the Friends of the Care project for at least a week or two. I want to volunteer at Dogs and Cats with the actual Dogs and Cats organization for at least a week or two, just kind of help wherever I'm needed. And through that week or two of early next year, probably in the winter, January, February, I want to start to understand, first of all, if that's the best way of supporting Browns Avenue in Antigua. Maybe there's a better way. I think that's the best way. Paying for rent and then providing eventually, get like the water and electricity and Wi-Fi all on my name, and then eventually get new tenants in who had a Web3 oriented mindset, who were just, not even they knew it already, but they were interested in motivated and self-motivated, honestly, because I am busy with my own stuff. I can't be sitting there teaching people all day long. I can give them the place to live. I can give them the Wi-Fi. I can give them the Raspberry Pi. I can give them the keyboard and the mouse and the screen. I can give a lot, but I can't actually sit there for 8 hours a day and teach them. So the only thing I require are people who are self-motivated to learn and who are trustworthy, and that's it. Um, yeah, I mean, there's more plans to this. I mean, it doesn't even matter the other plans, but that's what's happening. Hopefully in April. Um, I mean, the I'm not sure the exact logistics of payment and so forth. But it's family land and it's already purchased. There's no mortgage to be paid or anything like that. So, arguably, the money is just to make sure that the place is fixed up, right? So as long as there wouldn't even need to be rent to be paid if I was ensuring that there was more than enough resources to be upkeeping the properties and stuff like that. So that's kind of also part of what the plan is for the Marma Foundation, is to revitalize the property that's there for the people that are already living there regardless. So, for example, maybe I can't so this block from Maggie's guest house down Pearson's Road, right, to the end of the apartment building where my family owns, that kind of a little rectangle block, or even larger, right? But potentially, even by putting up garbage bins that get picked up at a reasonable time at a time that can be managed and trusted, might allow people to feel more comfortable throwing things in the trash instead of throwing them on the ground. Trash pickup is expensive. Everything's expensive, and so things that are important to a certain community need to be funded. And so I believe that certain things are important to every community, but just maybe not important enough because the people within the community are so burdened by basic necessities that funding garbage can pickup is not something that's on their minds. But potentially it could be on my mind, and I can provide those extra services that maybe they wouldn't be accustomed to. And why not, right? But yeah, that is honestly the entirety of what this was supposed to be. I'm really blessed to be in the position I'm in my life, and while my life has not been perfect, I'm very happy that I potentially, hopefully, get to live a life where I can support and love on a number of people just because they exist, just because they're there. Why not? What are the reasons there to love on somebody? I mean, I want to love on the people in Browns Avenue simply because they live, just because they're people. Because I can, potentially, hopefully, soon. But I could go January and just go do it. But I want to ensure that it's done properly. Last time I went to Antigua, I tried to do things when I could do it. As soon as I could, I went. And things didn't go perfectly. They actually went absolutely terribly once I got there. But I didn't have a backup plan. And so we just decided to stick it out and go for it. But next time, I think that the lesson learned is to just try to ensure that, you could never really know, right? And I don't regret anything. I'm so glad for all the experiences that I've had, especially the one going to Antigua, but everyone going to Antigua. But still, I think that potentially having a more solid foundation before going to Antigua for the Marma Day Foundation could have provided more support for people that are there now through COVID and having a really tough time through the economic hardships that are currently befalling a lot of the residents. And so I believe that I want to get back there as soon as possible. I want to support the people locally as soon as possible. But potentially if I just pay the rent of the locals at Browns Avenue, maybe I don't have to actually be on island. So maybe I can suck it up and stay in the winter cold of Canada, but pay the rent of locals in Antigua for now, right? Eventually, hopefully I'll get to Antigua. Eventually I'll set up Wi-Fi and everything else I want to do. But for now, like in April, or maybe sooner, I could just pay their rent. And in my opinion, that would be pretty awesome to not have to worry about rent with everything that's going on and people losing their jobs and the tourism sector is seeing a huge, no more cruise ships coming in. Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. Most of Antigua's revenue definitely comes from the tourism sector, and so with what's been going, and they have brand new cruise ports being envisioned and planned and opened up over the next few years, and now um, a lot of uncertainty. So I would like to try and provide some stability and certainty in a community that I have some sort of control over. I'm blessed to have some sort of control over this little community here, and so therefore I would like to do my best to have the Marma J Foundation support this local community. But yeah, that's about it. 20 minutes, pretty good live stream, but pretty busy tomorrow. I'm going to be jumping into Create Base. So I did get hired on with Mint Base, Create Base, and so I'll be working with their community, supporting Create Base endeavors. With that, I am working on the Create Base Learning Center, and so I'm just going to go in tomorrow afternoon and do about an hour of editing of the parcel. I want to add in there's a lot of just small details that I want to make sure people know about if they're getting started with Mint Base, Create Base, even there's links to the Telegram, or putting up a different YouTube video instead of a Twitch stream, or I just didn't. The first time I was live streaming, so the first build of the Create Base parcel, I live streamed it on this channel, so you can check that out. Sorry, I'm not going to be like, ooh, check out my video. No, if you actually want to check it out, I have a playlist, and I eventually will hopefully get an intern or something like that to come and go through the videos and make it more efficient to search through things. But I'm going to continue live streaming all the edits I do, but the first video is only about 40 minutes, and it was a quick video of just a minimum MVP, just minimum viable product that would allow me to showcase what I want to build and put a little frame up. But I've got to start actually beautifying the property and the parcel and make it look better. So I'm gonna be, hopefully getting in tomorrow doing that. I'm gonna be going to the park again with Mika and going on a run with her, and I got my Emery's daily Axie Farmer stream in the morning, and so I also was supposed to do an ETH research overview stream today, which I didn't do, and so I said I was gonna try and be quiet, and I lied. I'm sorry if I'm waking you up, Bianca. I love you. But I think I want to try and do that as early as possible in the week, because I want that stream to be a Sunday evening stream where I just honestly poke into ETH research and just see what's new and see what I've missed and see what I can learn and see what I can teach and understand. And so yeah, hopefully tomorrow it'll be those 3 streams minimum. Actually, hopefully only those 3 streams. I've been going 3 to 5 streams a day for a little while now. So yeah, I have some other things I'm supposed to be doing, but those 3 streams tomorrow will be great. Thank you everyone giving me this time to talk about the Marma J Foundation. I know no one really gave me this time, but I feel like if anyone actually listens to this part of it and gets this far, then thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me time to speak about the Marma J Foundation, what I want to do there. I am so excited to continue these live streams. They won't happen very often, probably. They'll only happen when there's relatively large updates to this plan, but they will be in this playlist, and I'm very excited to kind of add to this playlist in a month or 2 or 3, and kind of there are other plans that I already have for this that kind of have to do with Create Base and NFTs and just kind of loving on people through creativity and expression, and I'm really excited to share those things as well. So hope you're all having a wonderful day, evening, night, wherever you are. Sending love and positivity out to you, and I hope that you're able to send some love and positivity out to someone wherever you are. But yeah, that's all from me.